Okay, gonna try a little experiment here and see if we can do this live on camera. A little bit of magic. If you've been following the blog at dolphylittles.com, I think the blog is dolphylittles.typepad.com, then you know I've been spending my mornings with someone called Replacement Roger. He is my third actually, because the first one went to the glue factory, but I am remaking my Roger the Centaur of Attention, because the first one is, weighs several things. His human body is done with Ladal clay, which is fine and beautiful on itself, except that it turns out my Roger is rather adventurous and managed to break off both of his arms one day while trying to get into the dollhouse kitchen. If you've seen my dollhouse, you know it has its own zip code, and I think we're applying for our own member of Congress. So, anywho, yes, that Roger. I'm going to try making a face for him. I've played around with several of them and haven't done any that specifically came out looking Roger enough for me. I'm working with epoxy sculpt. It's already been mixed. I'm going to be using one of the head bases that I did for the neck is sized for Dragon DML size. This is active mesh back inside. Wrap that around the neck, and then it's coated with Ladal or praying das or whatever non-shrinking air dry I can get. You know, a thin layer and a little water paper in there to bulk out the head without any weight and having to use the stuff. And drawn a little bit of a Roger on there. I'm a little awkward here trying to look through the camera. And so, start off, going to get some epoxy sculpt. What I have up here, a little bit of water. Going to be using metal tools. This particular one is very similar to what they show in Martha Armstrong's hand, what she calls her Susie tool. This was left to be my grandmother. I assume it's a dental tool. I don't know. I haven't been to the dentist. And what century is it? So, okay, we're going to get started here. Epoxy sculpt is ready to go. I'm just going to spread a thin layer over his face. I will welcome questions to this and comments and all that. I want you to put a little thought into what you're going to write, because I look over all of them. And, you know, if you have a question or something, you know, check and see if it's been asked before. Save us all a little bit of time. But definitely questions are going to be welcome. I have been doing art longer than I want to admit. Damn kids, get off my yard, off my lawn. Yeah. But so you can see, it starts off very fast. There, we've got a little bit of a nose already started. Got, you can't see off camera, I've got pictures of Roger Daltrey. Yeah, the whole Roger the Centaur thing comes from his Rock Horse album. And one of the, never say it's a problem, I'm going to say it's a challenge that I've been facing, is getting the right expression. I've done, the previous Roger the Centaur, I've done a Roger doll with a head. I've done all four of the Who. I love the way my Keith came out. Pete took a while to grow on me. I have a rather pissed off, angry looking little Pete Townsend. So I want to make another one where he's got a little happier looking, like he's lost in his playing. We'll get to that later. And I've done Zeppelin, and I've done the Beatles, and I've done the Who, and I just said the Who. Bee Gees. Did Julian Lennon too. I've done about 2 or 3 Julians. Same thing, trying to find an expression that I like, that I'm happy with, that to me, you know, looks like Julian, but we're going to talk about Roger here. And the thing is, with Roger, he's got a couple. He's got, you know, that wonderful, you know, you've seen the cover of his first solo album, you know, Nice House. I don't want to say Nobody Home, but you know, that soft focus one. There. Yeah, looks like we're not having too many deep thoughts there. We're having a few, but. And then he's got this, you know, familiar Family Guy giggity giggity smile. And so it's like somewhere in between. You know, you want to get, you know, a lot of use in the photo stories and all that out of Raj. And So I need a nice expression, maybe a slight smile, a little bit of a grin. Let's see what we've done here is we've started the face, and we've got a nose working. A bit thin in a couple places. I'm using the natural epoxy sculpt because it's the only kind I can get where I'm at. And the color doesn't bother me because I paint it all anyway. Let's see, so it is just that quick, that simple. I have been really sculpting littles 1/6 scale since about 208. It started with I have House, sculpted by Chanetta from wantedactionfigure.com. Wonderful, wonderful heads there. I have 10 of them now. I was working on Julian. I was trying to do a Julian doll in the first place. Led to Justin Mongoose, totally different little thing. We'll let the stuff sit here for a minute and getting there. We're gonna actually work on the nose while I talk about this. The first one I successfully sculpted. As you can see, I'm just sticking the tool in here. And I say successful in that I was happy. Was Robin Gibb. It's actually of all that first batch of heads I did, I think, I'm hitting the tripod with my knee, kept the Robin. He's gone through several hairstyles. And I have kept the Paul McCartney. The others have been remade. I still have most of the heads. Check out the head page on DelphiLittles.com. We're actually in the middle of going from Web 4 to Web 5, but right now the site's still up. And it's just, practice and practice. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of the eyes. Get in here. That's where this is. I only have 2 little tools I use with my epoxy sculpt, and I have a straight pin and a paper clip, and actually the paper clip is in Roger now. Figured he didn't have enough rest going on. Metal tools, if you keep them kind of wet, they work. This one, you can see, has got stuff on it. You can scrape that off, but getting there, it's gonna work. See, there's the upper, there it is. We're starting to get a little shape of the eye. You want to get the brow bone. You want to poke that a bit. You want to be gentle with these guys. You want to take your time, although you only get about an hour. Work with the stuff. Okay, we've got to make this face longer. He's a little. With Roger, this side of his face is longer than that side. I read a few books. The Keith Moon biography, it says that Roger, maybe it was that one or something else, tripped and broke his jaw when he was a kid. Tripped and broke his jaw on a manhole cover. But he's always been a little lopsided. And I look at baby pictures of him. A lot of drawings. Spent a lot of time looking at pictures of Roger. I'm going to be filling in the mouth as we get to it. And so you want to get very early on. You want to get your head shape. The neck here is rather thin. So you don't really need too much on it because the neck base here is already built up to take the socket, the DML socket. And I discovered with one of my heads on Spaghetti Jimmy. I have to. Everybody needs 2 Jimmys. He's going to end up being my older Jimmy. Spaghetti Jimmy kind of broke his neck. I'm trying to get onto the Obitsu. The regular Bitsu male. So if I'm going to use the regular Bitsu male body with that neck, it fits Dragon Heads, except it's a bit too long. So if I did that, I would be cutting off. And I'd probably make a separate base for it. Okay, get here. Gonna work the eyes a little bit more. Switch ends on the tool. So we're getting in here on Raj. Raj has these little. This is the thing where you're sculpting something. Yeah, look at a lot of pictures of them. These little round eyes going on. And the eyes are going to look, I'm trying to get it right for the camera, the eyes are going to look a little hollow right now, because these things, and I'll film the second step, these things usually they take at least 2 wet steps, and there's some dry work in between. Carving out stuff that gets in the way. And it's practice. Going back to, I've made a lot of them. There's a lot of the heads you'll see on my website. There's been farting around with the other dolls. There's been 2 or 3 of them. I mean, that one Robin worked. I don't know how. I was doing the Beatles and I was doing Robin. Going back to that, it was for a story that hasn't quite gone anywhere yet with House. But turns out later on I got, if you know my dolls, Dr. Gibb. And had I known Dr. Gibb was a gamey toy Dr. J, and I repainted him, but had I known he existed, which he has this wonderful look of a mature Robin Gibb, without that rug. We all know it's a rug Robin. But had I found that Dr. J doll, I'm kind of thinking I might never have, I don't know if I would have started sculpting. While you're doing this and you're working the eye, you want to work the eyebrow and the ridge there. Since we're doing Roger Daltrey, he goes, his eyebrows kind of go like that. Get under those curls. I'm gonna be using Shaggy Roger, 70s Roger. It's one of those people that looks rather nice as he's gotten older. Nose. Now the nose, oh, it's wet. Gotta get it. Actually, Roger's nose. Roger's whole face kind of goes like that. So I'm gonna have to get his nose in there doing that. And that's the thing, when you're working on them, you can't just look at one part at a time. You have to get in there and you have to be willing to look around. I've got I'm listening to music if anyone's curious. I've got my playlist going on. It's on headphones, really low. I'm not playing it because it looks like Warner Music owns most of it. We know how they are. Buenas noches, Benfiora. So come on, guys. I'll just see him. Loosen up a little bit. Yeah, I can see the point in wanting to buy downloads and all that. I link again on dollfreelittles.com. I sell pattern books for my dolls. And I'd be, it wouldn't be nice if I went through all that work to do something, to make a product where the dolls can, work on their keep, and somebody ripped it off. Think about that. If you've done something, would you want somebody, all your hard work, somebody come along and rip it off? So be careful when you're pinching their little nosies. And over here at the base that's where they're going to get, this is an angle to look at. You got to look at them from all sides. As you can see, this side's a little higher up than this side. I've noticed that when I'm doing my first sculpts. I'm not going to get too much into that. When I was 19, I had a traumatic brain injury, and so the fact that I'm here complaining about it in the first place is a miracle. So there's a lot of hope for that Congresswoman Gifford, having been shot. You can recover. You can go on to do things. It says a lot. She wants to get her ass out of that hospital. I know several people who are traumatic brain injury survivors and have the same thing. I'm going to get Roger's right eyebrow goes higher than his left. So I want to get that very early. And my first Townsend song is kicked in. I've got People Stop Hurting People. Managed to hit music store going out of business. Picked up a bunch of stuff. Picked up a copy of Scoop 3. Turns out it's a DVD audio. Dirt. You can't rip DVD. If there's a way to rip DVD audios, I would like to know. Then I can use my copy of Scoop 3. Okay. I want to notice right here that the bridge of his nose is looking a little fat. Just gotta get in there. See, part of this goes pretty fast, amazingly fast, and then some of it, goes agonizingly slow. Actually, scrape that off. People, stop hurting people.